It has always been so propositionally. It has to be so existentially. Why is God ultimately who he is? Because there is no contradiction in him. He is the eternally coherent being in whom there is no lie, there is no contradiction. They will scorn us because of our exclusivity. They will scorn us because we see the unseen. That's what they talk about as faith. But faith is not credulity. Faith is not believing in that which is not there. It is believing in that which is ultimately real and essential, even though it is presently not totally visible to the eye. When we were doing an open forum at Clemson a few weeks ago, one of the questions from the floor was, how can one believe in God when you can't see him? When you think of the question, the person was using two things to ask that question: energy and consciousness, neither of which can be seen. Neither of which can be seen. And the fact of the matter is, the influence, the implications, the imperatives that follow from the eternal and the unseen have always been there. And when you look at the story of Abraham, who was 99 and Sarah was 90, and they were promised that they would have a son, and out of their loins would come this new one, and this newborn, and how a whole nation would be blessed. You see the entire 11th and 12th chapter of the book of Hebrews to sustain this fact that faith is the substance of things, the essence of things not seen, the substance of that which is hoped for, though not presently visible. Now, the difference between faith and credulity is credulity will believe anything. Faith is that which is based upon the rationality and the reasonableness of that which has already been revealed. On the rationality and the reasonableness, in one of our books I made the statement, God has put enough into this world to make faith in him a most reasonable thing. He has left enough out to make it impossible to live by sheer reason alone. He's put enough into this world to make faith in him a most reasonable thing. He's left enough out to make it impossible to live by sheer reason alone. Even the scientist who lives by brute facts has committed himself or herself to the belief that their rationality can be trusted and the empirical method of investigation can be depended upon. The whole move towards the scientific world in the days of Faraday and Newton and all came about because they believed in a design and an order and a pattern. That's why some of the earlier scientists, including Galileo, by the way, had that unshakable belief in God. What he was questioning of the hierarchs was, are you sure you have interpreted the scriptures correctly here? He did not doubt. He was a devout churchman all of his life. So Noah shows the exclusivity, Abraham shows the unseen, Moses, that aspect, why we are rejected and mocked, because the word of God will always challenge the sovereignty of man. We're scorned because we challenge the sovereignty of man. Aldous Huxley, writing in the 1940s, said this: I want this world not to have meaning, because a meaningless world frees me to my own choices. I want this world not to have meaning. In other words, it's a will, it's a choice. The famed Robert Jastrow, who was the founder of NASA's Goddard Institute of Space, in his book God and the Astronomers, said he is startled by how scientists resist sometimes the logical outworkings of what they are saying, and the reason they resist it is because they lose control at that point. This is a scientist speaking in a powerful book called God and the Astronomers. And then we are scorned because we claim to a higher morality, that we are not self-referencing in our moral framework. We ultimately have to bow to the transcendent. No, we're not perfect. No, we don't always honor it. But like the laws that govern reason, like the laws that govern empirical investigation, so the laws of God govern the moral framework. and we believe in the transcendent moral law that is revealed, and just for that we will be scorned.